Psychological signs you're becoming the best version of yourself. Have you ever wondered if you're truly growing as a person or just going through the motions? The journey to becoming your best self isn't about dramatic transformations or perfect habits, it's about recognizing the subtle psychological shifts happening within you. Personal growth often occurs quietly, through small changes in how you think, react, and interact with the world around you. These shifts might seem minor on the surface, but they represent profound internal changes that signal you're evolving into who you're meant to be. Today, we're exploring 10 psychological signs that prove you're on the right path to becoming the best version of yourself. These aren't just feel-good concepts, they're backed by psychology research and represent real markers of emotional maturity, self-awareness, and authentic personal development. Some of these signs might surprise you because they don't always look like what we traditionally think of as success or achievement. Instead, they're about how you handle challenges, how you treat yourself and others, and how you navigate the complexities of life with greater wisdom and confidence. By understanding these signs, you'll gain clarity on your own growth journey and feel more confident that you're heading in the right direction, even when progress feels slow or unclear. 1. You stop seeking validation from others. This is perhaps one of the most significant psychological shifts you can experience in your personal growth journey. When you reach this stage, you no longer feel that constant, sometimes desperate need for other people to confirm your worth, intelligence, attractiveness, or value as a person. Your self-esteem has shifted from being externally dependent, relying on likes, comments, compliments, approval from friends and family, or recognition from colleagues, to being internally generated, coming from your own understanding of who you are and what you bring to the world. The psychology behind this change is profound. You've developed what researchers call an internal locus of control, meaning you understand that your worth isn't determined by other people's opinions, reactions, or validation. You've learned to appreciate yourself based on your own standards, values, and personal growth rather than constantly measuring yourself against others or seeking their approval. This transformation is crucial for several reasons. First, it dramatically improves your mental health because you're no longer on an emotional roller coaster depending on other people's responses to you. Second, you start making decisions based on what truly aligns with your values and goals, not on what will get you the most approval or praise. This leads to more authentic living and, ironically, makes you more attractive to others because authenticity is naturally magnetic. In daily life, this might look like enjoying experiences without immediately thinking about how to share them on social media for validation. You might choose a career path that fulfills you personally, even if your family doesn't understand it. You express your genuine opinions in conversations instead of just agreeing with what you think people want to hear. You dress in ways that make you feel confident and comfortable, rather than following every trend or dressing to impress others. 2. You embrace discomfort and challenges. Instead of avoiding difficult situations, running from tough conversations, or always choosing the easy path, you've begun to see discomfort and challenges as valuable opportunities for growth. This represents a fundamental shift in how you perceive difficulty, from something to be avoided to something that can help you become stronger, wiser, and more capable. This change reflects what psychologists call developing a growth mindset, the belief that your abilities, intelligence, and character can be developed through dedication, hard work, and learning from experiences. Your brain has literally rewired itself to process challenges differently. Instead of seeing difficulty as a threat that triggers anxiety or avoidance, you now see it as a chance to expand your capabilities and discover what you're truly capable of achieving. The benefits of this mindset are enormous. When you embrace discomfort, you build resilience, your ability to bounce back from setbacks and adapt to change. You continuously expand your comfort zone, which means you become capable of handling increasingly complex challenges. This creates a positive cycle where you become more confident because you have evidence that you can handle whatever life presents to you. This might show up as volunteering for challenging projects at work that others avoid because you recognize the learning opportunity. You have difficult but necessary conversations with loved ones instead of letting issues fester. You try new activities that make you nervous, perhaps public speaking, learning a musical instrument, traveling alone, or starting a creative project. You approach failure as feedback rather than as a reflection of your worth, asking, "What can I learn from this?" instead of, "Why does this always happen to me?" 3. You practice self-compassion instead of self-criticism. You've learned to treat yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and patience that you would naturally offer to a close friend who was struggling. This is a radical shift from the harsh inner critic that many people carry around, constantly judging, criticizing, and punishing themselves for mistakes, perceived failures, or not being perfect enough. Self-compassion involves 3 key components that researchers have identified: self-kindness, being gentle with yourself; common humanity, recognizing that struggles and mistakes are part of the universal human experience; and mindfulness, observing your thoughts and feelings without getting completely caught up in them or trying to suppress them. This psychological shift is incredibly powerful for several reasons. Research shows that self-compassion is strongly linked to better mental health, increased motivation to improve, faster recovery from setbacks, and greater life satisfaction. Contrary to what many people fear, being kind to yourself doesn't make you lazy or complacent. It actually increases your motivation because you're not wasting energy on self-attack and shame. In practice, this means when you make a mistake at work, instead of spending hours mentally beating yourself up and calling yourself stupid, you acknowledge the error, learn from it, and move forward with a plan to do better. When you're struggling with a challenge, you offer yourself encouragement rather than criticism. You recognize that everyone makes mistakes and faces difficulties. It's part of being human, not a sign that something is wrong with you specifically. 4. You set and maintain healthy boundaries. You've developed the ability to say no without overwhelming guilt, and you actively protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being by being selective about your commitments and relationships. Boundaries aren't walls that shut people out, they're healthy gates that allow good things in while keeping harmful or draining things out. This skill represents a deep understanding of your own needs, values, and limits, combined with the courage to communicate and enforce them even when others might not like it. You've learned that setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's actually essential for maintaining healthy relationships and preventing burnout, resentment, and emotional exhaustion. The psychology behind healthy boundaries involves having a strong sense of self-worth and understanding that your needs matter just as much as other people's needs. You've moved beyond people-pleasing behavior and learned that you can't pour from an empty cup. By taking care of yourself first, you're actually better able to show up fully for the people and causes that truly matter to you. This might look like saying no to social events when you need alone time to recharge, even if people are disappointed. You might limit contact with family members or friends who are consistently negative or drain your energy. You establish work boundaries by not checking emails after hours or not taking on extra projects when you're already overwhelmed. You communicate your needs clearly in relationships instead of expecting others to read your mind. 5. You take full responsibility for your life. You've stopped playing the blame game and have embraced what psychologists call an internal locus of control. Instead of constantly pointing fingers at other people, circumstances, your past, or bad luck for your problems and unhappiness, you focus on what you can control and change. This doesn't mean you blame yourself for everything, it means you recognize your power to respond and create change. This psychological shift is empowering because it moves you from a victim mindset to an empowered creator mindset. When you take responsibility, you stop wasting energy on resentment and frustration about things you can't control, and instead channel that energy into positive action on things you can influence. Taking responsibility also means acknowledging your role in both your successes and your challenges. You celebrate your wins while also learning from your mistakes without shame. You understand that while you can't control what happens to you, you always have some control over how you respond and what you do next. In daily life, this might mean that when a relationship ends, instead of just blaming the other person, you reflect on what you contributed to the problems and what you can learn for future relationships. If you're unhappy at work, instead of just complaining about your boss or company, you either work to improve the situation or take steps to find a better job. When you face a setback, you ask, "What can I do differently next time?" rather than, "Why does this always happen to me?" Which of these signs resonated most with you? Are there any that surprised you or challenged how you think about personal growth? I'd love to hear about your own journey in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, please subscribe for more content on psychology, personal development, and becoming the best version of yourself. Thank you for watching, and remember you have everything you need within you to create the life you want.